Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. In this update, we are going to check out Avalanche's price chart and see what's happening in the short term. But before we get into all that good stuff, real quick, I want to talk about this important news that I saw, and I think this might be a bit more important than it actually looks at first glance. You see, a company like Broadridge, which handles around $8 trillion in assets every single month, decided to build part of its core infrastructure on Avalanche. And you may ask, okay, why is this important and what are the actual effects of this on AVAX's token? We are going to break everything down in simple terms. Basically, when you own shares in a company, you usually have voting rights. This process is called proxy voting, and right now this system is quite slow, fragmented, and also it heavily depends on multiple intermediaries, emails, and also manual processes. Now, what Broadridge in here did is this. They moved this entire process onto blockchain, so instead of messy coordination, voting can now happen through digital wallets with transparent and very much verifiable records. And it's very important to understand that this isn't like a random test. No, Galaxy Digital is actually going to use this very system in a real shareholder vote. Now, the important part, I think, is this. They didn't actually build this on a random chain. Again, they built a dedicated Avalanche Layer 1 using AvaCloud. And why is this important? Because big financial players need two things at the same time. Number one, efficiency and speed. And number two, privacy and regulatory control. Now, public blockchains alone unfortunately cannot fully provide this, and Avalanche solves this problem by allowing companies to create their own custom L1 where they control access while at the same time still using blockchain infrastructure. And this is, I think, a massive shift because it is clearly showing that traditional finance is finally starting to use blockchain for real processes, which is awesome. Now, from a long-term perspective, I think this has a few important implications. Number one, this I think is going to act as a very strong validation, because if a company like Broadridge trusts Avalanche for something as sensitive as shareholder voting, okay, other institutions will probably take that seriously. Second, this I think is going to connect directly to AVAX itself, because to run these dedicated networks, okay, validators typically need to stake AVAX. So as more companies build similar systems, odds are more and more AVAX tokens are going to get locked, which is going to overall reduce the available supply. Implication number three. You see, I believe this is actually part of a bigger trend, which is called what? You know what? Tokenization of real world assets, RWA. Meaning, if stocks and financial products move on chain, okay, systems like voting is going to become essential, and Avalanche is positioning itself inside that infrastructure. And finally, this type of usage is quite a bit different from DeFi, because in DeFi, capital can move easily and quickly between chains, but enterprise systems like this are long-term. It's very important to understand that. Once they are built, they are going to stay. So even if price doesn't necessarily react immediately, and I don't really think it is going to react effectively immediately in like very, very short term, okay, no problem at all, because this kind of development usually builds a stronger base over a mid to long term period of time. Okay, it's very, very important to understand that. So fundamental wise, I do think this was a bit of an important news that's worth sharing with you guys. And once more, again, I do believe this suggests in Avalanche we are indeed on the right direction. Now, having said all this, let's go on the live chart and see what is going on in like very, very short term and what might be the next likely move. Okay, here we are, and it's very important to understand that the things that I'm about to tell you in this part of the video are actually more so in the interest of education, because I'm thinking probably in Avalanche we do have a bit of a short opportunity by the time that this video is gonna go out, which is in about 24 hours. Now, if you remember the last time that we talked about AVAX, we were, I believe, right around the lows in here, and the idea was that, well, okay, there's a very good argument to be made for this whole move on the upside to be just a correction structure, in order to also at the same time in terms of classic TA have a pullback to this important level and maybe we're gonna have one more move down in order to once more, unfortunately, visit the lows in here about $7.6. Maybe even if we are not lucky, we're gonna take it for like a very brief period of time, and then hopefully that will be it, the low of our correction, and then we're gonna have a bounce. So what happened so far? Instead of having a move down from here, we actually got a bit of a move on the upside. However, pay attention please, I'm thinking probably this move up is a correction structure for a couple of important reasons. Number one, what is one very important characteristic of a correction? You know it, it's being slow and choppy. And if I just measure this move up from here to about the highs, this has taken us on H1 time frame about 270 candlesticks. On the other hand, as you can see, in about, let's say, 270 candles, we got this move down from this point to about this low. So to me, this suggests, compared to this face down, it seems like that this move up doesn't really have a lot of legs, hence why I said this is a correction. Now, do I have some more reasons to believe, yep, this is just a temporary pullback? I think so, yes. You see, in terms of Elios waves, if you want to argue we're going to have in this area some sort of a low, not necessarily even our final one, then okay, you have to be able to find off of the lows a bit of a 5-wave up. This specific scenario is called an impulse. Rules for this are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between our waves 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5-wave, this wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. And for the sub waves, you know what I'm about to tell you, we're going to have 5-wave up into 1, 3, and 5. And for our corrective movements, we can consider different possibilities. Let's say this time ABC for 4 and maybe like a WXY structure into wave 2. Now, let's go real quick on the live chart and see what is going on in here. And immediately, you can actually identify the problem. Question for you, where is the lowest low? It's clearly this one. And the next question is this, are you able to find off of here to about the highs a bit of a 5-wave? I'm gonna say no. And even if somehow, I'm not really sure how, but if somehow you are able to find one, let's just say this, the shape of that 5-wave is gonna look so odd to a degree that honestly it really shouldn't be anybody's primary scenario. Hence why I want to say, look, this is probably just an ABC zigzag up. And pay attention please, this thing actually got confirmed when we got specifically this face down, and in it we took the low of our B leg right in here. And I would like to suggest we are probably having from this point to about here actually an ABC in form of an expanded flat. And once more, I'm thinking this is probably yet another ABC up, or maybe even, if you want to be a bit creative, this can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in form of overall an ABC flat structure. Or if you want to say this is an ABC zigzag right in here, then okay, I guess you can also entertain the idea of having a WXY in form of a double zigzag. But here's the deal, the whole point of a double zigzag is actually to be a deep correction structure, whether it's going to be on the down or maybe on the upside. But this right in here is looking like a bit of a flat structure. So again, once more, I'm gonna say this is an ABC flat. Doesn't really matter a whole lot. The point is there's a very high chance overall, again, this is a corrective movement. And that's why I want to say maybe by the time that this video is going to go out in Avalanche, we are going to have a bit of a short opportunity. Because what is happening in here, I'm here to tell you, we are probably having in this initial phase down a 5-wave. Also, this move can be a 5-wave. And if you see something like this, maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and specifically between our wave 4 and 2, we're not gonna have a lot of overlapping of the waves. Okay, prepare for a bit of a pullback from here. And if this ends up being a slow and choppy move up, okay, at that point, right around these areas, about let's say $9.2 can be a decent short opportunity, because this is essentially suggesting either we're gonna have a 1, 2, and then what's next? You know it, great move down into wave 3, 4, 5, which in that case, for your short position, you're gonna make a bit of money. On the other hand, there's also a possibility suggesting this is gonna be 5 down into a correction for wave B, and then we're gonna have another move down into our C leg. Once more, again, suggesting we are going to get bare minimum another move down. And when we get it, may I suggest just exit your position by the end of the next leg down. Okay, it's very, very important to understand that. So what you want to see in Avalanche, if you want to go short, is a bit of a continuation of the move down, consolidation, another move down, and then a bit of a pullback up. If we see this, my friends, is a textbook short opportunity, and it doesn't necessarily mean that your position is going to 100% of the time make you money. No, you're just here to get it right 6 out of 10 times, and maybe this is going to be like very, very well one of those 4 times that you're going to get it right. But that's not really the point. The point is, if you open positions like this and identify setups like this long enough over a long period of time, I think you are going to, on the margin, end up making a decent bit of money. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Avalanche's chart. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.